Coach, last chance to get a win in the regular season against these Cavaliers. How important is this for you?
Well, we play them again, last game of the season. So
let me change that question then. Coach, second last opportunity to get a win before the season.
Okay,
One day
I'm on a roll now. I got Ryan the other night, but no, it's always a good good opportunity to go against one of the top teams in the league. We're climbing, getting there, but again, they're in front of us. For the rest of the. As long as we're in the East, they're in the East. Right now they're in front of us, and our job is to come in tonight and try to take care of home, and that's going to be our charge tonight. I thought in their game at their place we had some, communication mistakes at the end of the game and opened up some three-point shots, and gifted them, probably about 6 to 10 points down the stretch that shot us in the foot, ourselves in the foot. So we got to make sure we're on point, on target with our communication, what we're doing defensively, because we're doing some different things, and make sure we're all on the same page from a communication standpoint.
Dwane, I asked DeMar this as well. In the offseason, I think even in training camp, you mentioned how home court ultimately last year maybe could have made a difference. It was that close. If you lose tonight, they take the season serious. Does that put any more importance on a December 5th game?
Yes, it does. It puts a little bit more importance on that game, more so than normal would. If it's a tie, So again, if we lose, it's not the end of the world because you have the rest of the season they have the rest of the season that they have to go. So, but again, that puts a little bit more importance on it. And from that scenario, neither one of us can assume that we're both going to be tied by the end of the year for the first place because, again, the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of possible teams. We just saw Atlanta team, once they get Millsap back and get their juices back, they're, I think, still going to be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. And I don't think the other night was indicative of who they are. So, again, we got to take it one game at a time. Again, it's not the end of the world, December 7th or 5th. So, but again, it's, anytime the top team in your conference comes into your place, it should be a big deal. It should be a sense of urgency.
The three-pointers have obviously started to fall over the last 6, 7, 8 games. Have you noticed that change the way teams have defended DeMar at all? Is there less, just complete focus on him, or is that still a thing that might happen in the future if they?
They're sending extra bodies to DeMar. They're helping on him. That some teams are exaggerating it and going ahead and trapping it, and some are just sending, longer helps and deeper helps. So that is happening, and he's doing a good job of making sure he picks them apart. I'm not saying DeMar's a decoy, but he's not a decoy by any means, but he's doing a good job of making the play. He may be getting a hockey assist, but he's getting the ball out safely, which is the most important thing. And again, I would say our bigs are doing a better job. Lucas is doing a better job of being big, showing his length, and being a big target, he and JV both, and finding the weak side.
But I guess you haven't noticed that tilt back to where, because the shots are falling, you haven't noticed them staying home more, I guess.
No, I think a lot of it, too, some of the same shots that we were getting earlier, we're now making. I mean, I want to make it, it sounds good to be complicated and have all these theories, but like you just said it, it's a make-or-miss league.
Going into the season, it seemed like people were sleeping on the Raptors, but you guys are really killing it right now. Is it feeling good?
No, I mean, again, I'm from the old school. It's a thin line between killing it and getting killed, and so I'm never going to be one who gets happy on the farm. I'm never going to be one who's going to be jumping up and down celebrating, because there's always something you can in this league that you have to look around the corner for. And I don't want to be Mr. Killjoy, but it's a long season, and sometimes things that make you good will sometimes all be the same thing that get you beat. So we got to make sure we have a good balance between the three-point shot, attacking the rim, playing together. Right now the shots are falling, but there's going to be nights that they don't fall. So that's when you have to fall back on your defense and make sure you get some points off of your defensive play.
Your team is just sort of in practice. Are they more attentive now? It seems like everybody's buying into everything you say.
Well, I don't think there's ever been a day, you may have to ask them, that they haven't bought in. Executing it, doing it with energy, doing it without as many mistakes, because it's a mistake league. Right now everything looks good because shots are going in, and thank goodness they're doing that. But we've got a good group of guys. The chemistry on the team is solid, and but again, it's a thin line. One day you're the statue, and the next day you're the pigeon. So, right now we're the pigeon.
What does having a much healthier Dwane now do as opposed to in the playoffs when he was kind of struggling, especially against LeBron?
What's it do? He's doing different now.
No, what does it do for the team to have a healthier?
It makes all the world different. One, he can have leverage. It's hard to do when you kind of, not saying playing on one leg, but you worried about an injury. You don't have as much leverage. You don't decelerate as well as you'd like to. And against a guy like LeBron, you have to have all facets rolling at the same time. So it's very important to have him healthy. It's very important for him to shoot the ball the way he's shooting it, which takes the pressure off of DeMar and Kyle. He means a lot to our team, his veteran play. He's seen it before. He's been against these guys before. But again, I like to say this, that Norm Powell is doing a great job of playing that role, and it's a very difficult role for a young kid coming in this league, trying to establish himself. And then some nights he plays, he starts, and then the next night he may not see the court, depending on the situation. So my hat is off to him, because it takes a real pro, and especially for a young kid to go be in that role.
Do you guys have a chance are you guys a better team than you were a year ago? Do you have a chance? You've had 20 teams to look at this, 20 games to look at this group. Do you have a chance to be a better team?
I don't think we're as good defensively right now. I mean, I thought last year we were struggling, but still we had a little bit better rhythm defensively. I think we still have to I think we're probably shooting the ball better offensively now than we did this time last year, and 20 games in. I haven't really looked at it, Michael, but I would say offensively we're ahead of our defense last year.
And the gap between you and Cleveland, is it getting closer?
Tonight, you'll see. I don't know what that gap is. As long as they have 23, that gap is going to be there for a little bit until we, slow him down and get him under control and get Irvin under control. But, they have a very talent-laden team. And, I think a lot of teams in the East are going to be scratching and clawing, trying to get there. And if it's I don't think it's just between us and Cleveland. I think it's, some other solid teams in our conference. We're one of those teams.